I'm the kind of person where a lot of work I need to be doing comes up in my dreams. And when I start having recurring themes or recurring people in my dreams, it's something is going on with me, and I need to look at what that is. We tend to think that when other people are showing up in our dreams, it's about them, but for the most part, usually it's about us and our view of them or our view of our lives when we were around those people more. So I was reminded recently about how when you go through any kind of trauma or abuse or emotional manipulation, emotional neglect, I learned at a very early age that the sooner you take blame for something, regardless of how guilty you are, the quicker and easier the punishment is. Because usually if somebody's coming at you, blaming you as something, accusing you, they've already made up their mind. And nothing you say is going to change it. And that was a harsh reality I learned very young. And I also learned that if I took the hits for someone else that I loved, then it protected them and it saved them. And this was a pattern that I learned so young. I'm reminded that I still have it now. I'm not saying it wasn't necessary and it hasn't been necessary in the past. You will hold things in to protect loved ones. Sometimes the full truth of something would do more harm than good to other people. So you hold it in because your love of other people is greater than your love of yourself even. But I had to realize at some point that there are some truths, timing is everything. And your subconscious situations outside of yourself, circumstances, growth on your part and other people's, all becomes a factor in when it's time to peel back the layers of past truths. And I was recently reminded of that and how I kept getting these like messages, Instagram and everything, of you're carrying somebody else, something for someone else, and you need to let it go. It's time to drop it. And your body is going to be physically affected if you don't start releasing this stuff. And I was racking my brain. What am I holding on to? What am I holding on to? What am I carrying for someone else? But then my dreams started giving me clues. And I realized that there were full truths I hadn't shared with people I cared about because I was protecting them at the time. And now there's no need for protection. It's a lifetime ago and the situations are no longer relevant, but my body is still holding on to it and it's affecting my health. So when I took the opportunity, made the opportunity to lovingly and matter-of-factly explain more of a past situation so that that person can have a wider perspective of the full picture of what I was going through and where I was at in life. So that, sometimes other people need help moving on too, and they need to know the full truth in order to do so. And I was reminded of what I had been guarding, holding close, not sharing for fears of rejection, judgment, all the fears that come up when you've had patterns of trauma, abuse, emotional neglect, etc. And as soon as I got it out of my system, I felt this deep, intense discomfort in my lower lobes, lungs, and it was hard to breathe. And I just sat with it. I know that the lungs are the seat of grief, and I figured maybe I was holding on to a grief of a life I was never able to live or can't ever live, something that maybe I held on to in my subconscious or unconscious for a long time, and a grief of something I had to release years ago because of circumstances. And some pains don't ever really go away, but if they get stuck in your body, they make you sick. So not only are you mentally, your mental health affected, but your physical health is. And it can impact everyone and everything around you, even when you don't realize it, especially if you don't realize it. Because if you don't realize it, you're still different. Your energy is still off. The closest people, the people you're closest to, pick up on that. They know something's off. But if you don't know what it is, you can't communicate with them. They take it personally. It's just a horrible domino effect. So the more you can be clear with yourself and remind yourself that you're safe and remind your body that it's safe, the more you can tune into the appropriate signals in your body, the less issues you have with anxiety and things like that, because your mind and body and nervous system are able to detect actual threats versus perceived ones, because it had to be so hypervigilant for so long before. Obviously, you're doing this way after the fact. This is part of the healing journey when you're not in those kind of situations anymore. But this is my friendly reminder to, when you are in a safe space and things start to come up, you, for your own sake, have to address them regardless of the consequences. And you can do it in a loving, practical way. And you need to sit with your body and physically feel what happens in your body as you go through this, so that you can transmute it intentionally. Send it to the earth. The earth knows what to do with it. But release it so that your body knows how to heal and feel safe. Because when your body feels safe, then your mind can feel reassured. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope this helps someone.